At the moment, I know very little about karma, and I know very little about the concept. My sister always seemed to be aware of it, my biological sister. But at the moment, if karma is the law of the land, law of the realm, the only way it's inevitable, it's inevitable, it's unforgiving, and it just is no other option at the moment, especially ever, if that's the only option within the realm. I'm quite terrified of karma's implementation at the moment. Long, uncomfortable pause. Right there, I do not. It's okay if you don't know what I meant by that, because it's intentional and it's not a test for you. It's not a test for. I just wanted one entity to know me here, one entity to know me on Earth, one entity, and and even you, if you don't know why, the why behind that, it's okay, because my sister's seen the interference, the cloud that took weeks, weeks. I mean, it took a while to completely dissipate around my crown chakra, covering it. Not in a whole halo fashion, a dark cloud covering my crown chakra. So that's all it would take to interfere with one's reception, I guess, of themselves, depending on how that works. And so I do not mean to. I can't say much more on that now, can I? So the point is, the pause is there. That's where the video can be cut. I used to do this. I mean, I had a flash drive full of information that I got from where you just you could copy about any video from YouTube, video and audio, and then you could do with it what you wanted. So right there, someone could be slandered endlessly. That's all it would take. Not that y'all need this example. I feel stupid like doing this. Like, yes, it's so obvious that that's all it takes to slander someone. And so I gave an example where you could just cut it off there. You wouldn't have to add any other information or splice their words. And I don't have video. Mine would be the easiest because I don't have much video variation. So not that I think it's done to me. I'm giving an example of what could happen to others, especially those that don't have fixated video. Those that have fixated video, audio could be spliced in there very easily from their own words, depending on how much audio they have on the internet. That's potentially what could happen. I don't know how much it happens. Sure, it happens to some. That's all it takes. But mine, I just gave an example of how a person can be slandered by assumption, and assumption alone, if someone chose to, just by clipping this video where I had that uncomfortable pause and being done with it. There you go. Not inviting anyone to do that. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Don't hurt yourself. But it's not to confuse those that might value me. This is my first lesson, per se, maybe my only lesson. And I don't mean that arrogantly, but this is if I've stumbled into an example that we might need to remember. That's why I gave you abbreviated how little it take, and the longer the pause. I mean, in someone's audio, just splice sentence after sentence, especially if they repeat certain things. It'd be even easier to misrepresent them by that very easy technique alone, especially if they have fixed video. Because even like this, just you can splice a video and I already look at that, already tell where the video is spliced if it's mainly fixed. And plus we do this ourselves. I don't, but splice our video and add the audio where it's. I mean, I've seen them like Melissa does a very good job of that, where it's like, I'm not talking for herself, not against anyone else, obviously. Oh God, obviously not. Where it's just that's like I just remember that one video. It's like, man, she does know how to splice that audio in there perfectly. Where I mean, but it's almost like it still has that flow. It still has that flow. One particular video, there's absolutely no accusation. Obviously, no one's accusing the victim, but I'm not asking anyone to anything. You can guess if you want to, but because the question is why? Because I'm surprised myself. I'm not surprised really, but I was not expecting to have the reaction that I had a little while ago to what I just proposed. The question is, if you don't know me, you certainly don't know why. And if you do know me, you still might not know why. Because we're in the biologic and all that, and depending on how much interference is being projected onto you. So don't worry. But I had to do this just for myself, if no one else, to remember how easily it is to slander someone if one chooses to. Because also, as I gave that long uncomfortable pause, you could take any part of anyone's video and just get a sentence or two. They say something, because I do that a lot. I've always done that. I'll say something and then I'll go explain it. I've done that ever since I can remember. And until I explain it, you have no idea what I mean. I don't know how many others do that. Just remember how easy it is for us to assume things about each other. It's extremely easy. Extremely, extremely easy.